Ranking the top 10 players in the NBA is an incredibly difficult task, and at the end of the day, what I'm doing is pretty subjective, but it makes for pretty damn good entertainment. I'm compiling this list pre-playoffs, and as we all know, one's top 10 list tends to change drastically over the course of the playoffs. Last year, guys like Giannis, Chris Paul, they had their stocks rise exponentially after making the finals, and then other guys like Lebron and Curry, they both fell due to lack of team success. So again, this is just my opinion, and it's okay to disagree with me and where I have certain guys, because at the end of the day, this is all just for fun. Enough introduction, let's get into it. Alright, starting off with number 10, I've got Trae Young. My reasoning for this pick is pretty simple. He's put up incredible stats on a team that's had a ton of injury problems and guys in and out of the lineup all year. On paper, their roster is pretty solid, but when you have guys that are just not playing consistently, it makes it incredibly difficult to have a good team and play well. Over the years and across different rosters, we've seen having continuity as a team is huge, and when you have different guys going out there every night, it makes it impossible to have a good record. Honestly, without Trae, I doubt this team would even be in the play-in, so I think he deserves recognition for how good they've been over the past month or two. He's also one of the best playmakers on this list and is a constant threat to score from pretty much anywhere on the floor. And yes, even though he's not the most consistent shooter, especially once you get a few feet beyond the three-point line, he can make them sometimes, but it's not a great shot for him. Defenses still have to respect him, though, and he demands an incredible amount of attention everywhere on that side of the ball. And of course, we all know he sucks at defense, which prevents him from being higher on this list. I do take defense into account for all of these guys, and I mean, he sucks. He's terrible. Probably the worst in the league. Definitely top 5. All right, moving right along, we got number 9, Ja Morant. Ja Morant's having an incredible season and leading his team to lots of success, but it's hard for me to look past how well the entire roster is constructed. His 2 and 3s, Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson, are both having their career years, and the other guys on the roster are really, really solid. All good defenders, good shooters. He's surrounded by a lot. This leads me to question whether or not this team would be great with another all-star caliber guard, say plug in a Darius Garland from Cleveland. I don't know. I think they'd be pretty damn good. We've all seen the win-loss record when Ja's not playing, and I think this is a bit of a cherry-picked stat since if you look at the teams they're playing, it's a lot of really shitty below 500 teams, and then teams, even if they are above 500, it's like Phoenix without Chris Paul and Devin Booker, the Bucks without Giannis. It's not great teams they're beating, but they are beating NBA teams. Enough about the Grizzlies. Getting back to Ja, we all know how athletic and fun this guy is to watch, and his playmaking has improved exponentially this year, and pretty much every year he's been in the league. Offense is fantastic. He's one of my favorite guys to watch, and yeah, I just could not have him on this list. Also, the three-point shooting started out really hot this year, but it's sort of fallen off, and that brings him down another notch for me, and also concerns me heading into the playoffs, which this list is about. No, I say this list is about the playoffs, but number 8, I have to include LeBron. He's the only guy on this list whose team is officially knocked out of the playoffs. He doesn't even have a chance to make it, since they're number 11 now and can't improve to 10. So I'll keep this one really short. He's put up some of the best counting stats in the league, and he's 37 years old. And without him, I think this team would probably have finished dead last in the West. I'm not kidding. Number 7, I have Jason Tatum, a guy I did not expect to have this high on my list, but he's definitely deserving. The Celtics have had a historically great defense this year, as long as you don't include the first month or two of the season. And while there are 3 awesome defenders surrounding him, Tatum has really stepped up his play on that side of the ball. However, where Tatum shines, like most of the guys on this list, is on offense. It's just more valuable most of the time. He's averaged 27.9 points since January 1st and has started to come into his own as a playmaker. What I love most about Tatum this year is that he's taking less of those bullshit contested fadeaway long twos, and he's more focused on driving to the basket, shooting threes, the efficient stuff. It's great. All right, number 6, I've got Luka Doncic. This one's easy. I think it's only a matter of time until he moves into my personal top 5. He's arguably a top 3 passer, amazing scorer. His ability to read the floor is really second to none. I think it was pretty obvious from the first few games of the year that Luka just was not in NBA shape, which is unfortunate, and I think he could really be an MVP candidate if he just took it seriously starting the year. It would be amazing if he could just come into the season playing at the level we all know he's capable of, but it seems like he just doesn't take care of himself the way he knows he should. Still a great player, though. All right, number 5, I've got Steph Curry. What more can I say that hasn't already been said about him? Greatest shooter in the history of the game, great playmaker, great teammate, plays winning basketball. He's just the full package. The craziest thing about this is he's honestly having like a kind of subpar year, at least compared to some of his other seasons. At the start of the year, he was playing amazing. It's really cooled off since then, but they're still a top 4 seed in the West, and they're playing great team basketball. All right, now we're getting into MVP territory. I've got Embiid 4th, which does feel a little too low after watching him play this entire season, but when I look at the guys ahead of him, I just can't really justify putting him above any of the other guys, so that's why I've got him here. To reiterate some things I said in my last video, probably the most dominant post scorer since Shaquille O'Neal. Excellent in the mid-range, he's got the ball on a string, able to run the fast break, in the best shape of his career. He's doing it all. And of course, this is not to mention that he's had to deal with the Ben Simmons drama. Morey traded him for a washed-up Harden, who's pretty much been a shell of himself since the middle of last season. And through it all, Embiid's averaging like 30, 12, and 5. So, yeah. Number 3, Nikola Jokic. And this is another ranking where I'm like, wow, how is this guy not number 1? But there's just 2 guys who are better than him. We all know how incredible Jokic is, but I really just can't justify putting him above KD or Giannis. Maybe it's a legacy thing. I don't know. He might be having the best season of any of these guys, but it just doesn't feel right. And honestly, once MPJ and Murray are back, I think this team has a chance of winning multiple titles. Jokic running the offense, MPJ on the wing, Murray bringing the ball up the court. They're just a fantastic trio. This is assuming health with the other guys, unfortunately, but if they can get on the same page and play together, it will be amazing. And at number 2, I've got the reigning Finals MVP, Giannis. This is maybe a controversial pick. I think a lot of people have him number 1, but I just can't put him above KD. I can't do it. Call me a fanboy all you want, but I just can't forget how amazing KD was last year in the playoffs, how great he's been this regular season, and if I was going to take a guy to start my franchise, I would take KD, hands down. Again, the top 4 on my list is subject to change, as are most of the positions on this list. I think it all depends on how the postseason this year plays out, and that will impact this list of the top 10 best players in the NBA.